Today I'm going to take you through a TRX workout. So for this you'll need a TRX or suspension trainer and possibly a mat to go on the floor. We are going to be doing some plank-based positions, so hands will be on the ground and you might want something to pop under your knees for an extra bit of cushioning. Before you start your workout, make sure you're familiar with the piece of kit that you have at home. And it might not be the same as mine, you might have a different brand of suspension trainer. So I have mine clipped directly onto a bracket. You may have an extending piece of strap, all good. Just bear in mind the different heights that we're going to use here of our three setups. So at the shortest, my tab's all the way up to the top, and it means my handle sits roughly around my hip. Depending on how tall you are as well, this will be different. Then if I lengthen my straps down to the mid-length on this particular TRX, I've got the yellow tab lined up with the double yellow lines. So that's the mid-length, and that brings the handle, the rubbery bit, to just below the top of my thigh. Then taking this down, it's the longest it will go on the setup that I have. Bearing in mind my anchor point is quite low. But this longest setup, we want the soft foot loops to be at mid-shin. So mid-shin level is the longest. Top to midway down your thigh is that mid-length, and then on the shorter length, around about hip or waist height. So to hook your two handles together, we take one and thread it through the triangle. So this is your needle, this is your hole. So we thread the needle through the hole, then this one becomes the needle and we thread it through the triangular hole. Then we pull down on this handle here, and we can put on the strap of the other one to make sure it's knotted nice and securely like this. Then it's the bottom handle that will bear your weight. So with our suspended lunges, can be tricky on the balance. If you do have, this is a Pilates pole, but if you've got a broomstick or similar, walking stick, anything like this really, just going to use this to help with balance. So the trick here is if you're lunging on your right leg, have the stick on your left hand in front of your left hip. So when you're in that lunge, it's kind of across your body from the balancing leg. Alright, so set up. If you have taken your foot out of the straps after your squat, we put the foot back in. Good idea to hold onto the TRX as you turn your foot. It's very easy to get your foot slipping right through the strap, so just be mindful of that. Then we hop forward slightly, and we want to be in line with the anchor point. If you've got a mirror, great. I'm facing away from my mirror, so I kind of got to feel my way now. Standing leg, foot points straight out in front. That balance stick can be used on the left hand. And if your pole's a little longer than mine, just lightly hold around the shaft of the pole. Then we're going to bend the front knee, send this back leg back. This knee stays over the ankle. Push into your heel to come up. So the effort is in that front leg. Just going to pop that. So grab your equipment, get everything set up, and then when you're ready, restart the video and we'll get cracking. It'll be a 1 hour session, full TRX workout, and I'll see you in a sec. Right, 1 hour TRX workout, let's get cracking. Beginning facing your anchor point, facing where your TRX is attached to. We step back far enough that we're standing nice and upright, hands pressing down into the handles, and as I press down, my shoulders drop. Now draw in through the belly button, hinge forward at the hips. Press into the handles and let the chest come down, still drawing the shoulders back. Then to come up, we lift through the belly, tuck the tailbone, and roll up through the spine. So hip hinge forward, nice long back, and roll up, scooping the tailbone under, rounding through your spine. So hinging forward, keeping the back, the arms and the legs nice and straight, then tuck, slide, bend the knees, scoop through the belly, roll up, drop the shoulders down. into your heels, especially as you hinge forward. Stretching all the way up the back of the legs. Opening up through the chest and the upper back as we hinge. Then it's that bend of the knees. Tuck the tailbone, roll and articulate through the joints of the spine. So this movement is getting our lower backs and our upper backs nice and mobile. And we'll do about 2 more. So that's our last one. Alright, I'm just resetting my timer here. So next up, the golf swing. Step a little bit closer in towards the TRX, so the hands start lower. Then push your hips back, slight bend of the knees. This is called a TRX golf swing, so the setup is similar to how you would be if you were to swing a golf club. Press into both hands, swing your arms up and back. Come through centre, and then the other way. So as we extend up, we straighten one leg and the other knee bends. We bend the knees as we come through centre and lift. So we end up nice and high, almost standing fully upright. So just things to watch out for here. As you come through centre, we're not folding right forward. We should be up in this semi-squat position. And then allow your body to rotate as you swing your arms. Mobilising now through the hips, knees and ankles, and twisting into the spine. So great full body rotational movement. Keeping pressure into the hands the whole time. And we've got one more each side. Nice, so back into centre again. Next up, the squat and row combo. So starting with the hands close to the body, palms are facing each other, drop the shoulders down. Then we're going to hang back into the TRX. Bend the knees to squat, push into the feet to extend, straight line from head to heels, then pull. Extend the arms, squat, extend the legs, row. Squat and row combo. So we're doing this for about a minute. All these exercises so far have been about a minute long. So good thing to have a timer handy. I'm just using the stopwatch on my watch. And now we're using the TRX to support our body weight. Come down as low as you feel you want to into that squat. Pull with the arms as you come up. As we pull, we bring the shoulder blades back and in towards each other. So drawing into the upper back, expand the chest. And I'll make this one my last row now, keeping on that timer. Awesome. All right, so next up, we're going for a lunge back with 3 different foot positions. So first of all, timer, there we go. So light touch on the TRX, lunge straight back behind you, back up to centre. Step across, curtsy, back to centre. Step out to the side, back to centre. So we've got 3 different foot positions. The same foot stepping behind each time. The front knee always bends, so the weight is firmly in the front leg. Keep your shoulders square to the front, so I'm lining up with the centre of the room here, square to the anchor point, so all of the rotation happens at the hip and at the waist, and therefore the spine, but shoulders stay facing forward. Last round now. So final one to the side, changing legs, straight into the other leg, straight back behind you, curtsy across, out to the side. 3 different lunge positions. Keep looking straight ahead the whole time. Tempting sometimes to look down at your feet. You know that they're moving because you're the one moving them. So really no need to check into where they're going. Find a nice steady breathing pattern here. We've got 2 more sets to go of all 3 of those moves. One last time through. Awesome. All right, we turn to face the other way, so turning away from the anchor point. Just checking in to make sure you're not getting too twisted up behind you, depending on your setup. You might find that you twist the straps quite a bit. So next up, overhead reach and a forward lunge. So start with the arms up, shoulders down, press into your hands, create tension through the TRX. We alternate legs as we lunge forward. All right, time on. So we lunge forward, the back knee drops down towards the floor. Push through the front foot to come back up to your start position. So time-wise, again about a minute for this one. So if you're following along with me, you can stick with my timings. If you want to do this for a little longer, you can do. Keep tension through the straps the whole time. So we're always pressing into the hands. Quick time check, 10 seconds to go. Drop the shoulders down. Allow your arms to get pulled back behind you to extend through the spine. And one more each leg. That's our 60 seconds. Next move, very similar, this time adding a sideways reach. Same start position, arms up, lunging right foot forward, then the arms come over to your right. Come back to center, step up, change. Over to the left, back to center and up. So that's our move, 30 seconds this time. Lunge, reach overhead, center and up, and change. As you reach your arms overhead, try to have your arm track over your ear rather than drop forward to the front of your face. And this is our last one. Awesome. All right, so moving on now. Hopefully feeling nicely warmed up. We're going to push now into our kind of main segment of our workout. So next few movements we're going to do single-sided, focusing on just one arm. So I'm hooking the hands together, making sure that's nice and secure, and then always pulling on that lowest of the 2 rubber handles, not the foot loop, but still onto the handle. So we begin this sequence with an overhead reach and a side lunge. So we start with the hand directly over the top of the head, and we'll go palm facing down. Stepping out to the side now, reach your arm across your body, and then pull with the top arm as we come back up. All right, 1 minute 30 going on the clock. Step to the side, reach across, pull, step back to center. Let your hips travel out to the side of the room. Your palm stays facing down. And we're using this arm to pull with to bring us back to our start position. As you reach this arm across your body, turn to look out under your arm. This encourages some more rotation around the shoulder. And with that pull of the arm, on, we're then getting into the lats, which run down the sides of the back. So big stretch, and then pull to re-engage through those muscles that have been stretched out. Keep going, nice steady pace here. Big wide stride. As you step, try to keep that heel on the floor. So this heel stays down. If you struggle, we can let these toes lift up. So if you feel you want to lift your heel on the stepping foot, rotate your other leg so the toes come up. That might just give you the little bit extra range you need at your hips. Cheating here and stepping into the centre of the room. All right, we've got 2 to go. And last one. Awesome. Okay, single arm power row next, or single arm row. Still that left hand holding onto the handle. We start facing the centre of the room, the anchor point, with the left hand quite close to the left shoulder. Feet are about hip width apart, and then we extend the left arm, reach the right arm back. Pull with the left arm, keep pulling, and reach that right arm all the way up. Harder if you step your feet forward. So reach back, both arms are straight. Pull with that left arm, twist through your body, reach up. Now annoyingly my shoes are slipping a little bit on the floor here, so if you see me fidgeting with my feet, that's why. I'm going to have to go for that slightly easier variation to stop my feet from sliding. Keep this shoulder down the whole time. And we're pulling always. There's never a point where you should be standing with the straps baggy and this arm just reaching. We want to pull this hand in towards the shoulder, keep engaging through that arm the whole time. We've got 1 more to go. Awesome. All right, that was 1 whole minute. Next up, we're going into oblique stretch. Similar setup to our side lunge. Left hand on top of the head, and we step 1 foot in front of the other like we're on a tightrope. Left foot in front, left hand on the handle, right hand placed over the top of the left. Start with your elbows out wide, and they stay wide the whole time. Hands on top of the head, shoulders are down. Then we send the hips to the side, the head and hands stay into the centre of the room, and we lift back up. Right, time going on. Inhale as you drop to the side. Exhale. Lift yourself back to centre. Breathing in, drop the hips. Exhale, pull yourself back up. So this is giving us a big stretch all the way down the side of the body. So the obliques running through the sides of the waist have to really stretch and then re-engage to come back to centre. It's a tricky one to talk through. So find your breath, inhale, exhale. Surprisingly tough, definitely one of those ones that doesn't look like a lot, but when you get it right, it's a burner for the side of the waist. How's that time up? Well, 15 seconds left. Try not to pull too much with your arms. Elbows are wide. I'm gripping firmly onto the handle, but I'm not actively pulling with my arms. Hips to the side, lift to centre. I reckon we've got 1 more. I'll check the timer in just a second. Yes. Okay, brilliant. So next up, we're coming down to the floor next. So I've got a mat just here. Up to you whether you need a mat or not. And we're going into a side plank now with a thread the needle variation. 45 seconds is going on the clock for this one. We start with the hand underneath the shoulder, and we want the hand, the elbow and the shoulder stacked in a nice straight line. Option 1 for this is keeping your bottom knee on the floor. Option 2, 1 foot in front of the other. Option 3, 1 foot on top of the other. Whichever variation you go for, make sure you're lifting your rib cage up and away from your arm. Make a nice big angle here. We're not sinking down or collapsing into the shoulder. All right, 45 seconds going on the clock. Side plank with a thread the needle add-on. So set up into that side plank. Take a breath in, then as you exhale, thread your arm under your body, Send your hips up nice and high. So hips go up, arm reaches through. Breathe in and breathe out. Both heels stay on the floor the whole time. Don't allow that back heel to creep up. Twisting through the waist, rotating through the shoulder. 10 more seconds. Last 3. And time. Brilliant. So that's side of the body number 1. We're going to do all that again on the right side. Time to do all of that on the right side of the body. Side lunge with overhead reach. 1.5 minutes going on the clock. Palm facing down, holding onto the lower of the 2 handles. All right, we step to the side, reach across, pull as you step up. So heel stays down. Remember there's that option to rotate the other foot if you need to. We reach the left arm across the body and turn to look out under your arm, like you're sniffing your armpit. Thankfully I've showered this morning. We use the arm to pull ourselves back up. So although it's a lunge, it's definitely an arm and back movement, this one. Why your back, you ask? Because we're working our lats, which run down the sides of the back. So we've got lats and serratus, which sit underneath your shoulder blades. We've got shoulders, we've got arm, we've got a little bit of leg as we lunge. Nice stretch into this leg. Oh, we've got it all going on. Use your breath. Exhale as you pull and come back up. Hitting myself with the handles here. Big wide step. We're into our last 3 now. And last 2. A few more seconds to go. 1 final rep. And all the way up. So next up. Sort the hair out. We're into our single arm row or power row. So right hand on the handle, pull that hand in towards your right shoulder, and then we extend the arm, hang all the way back, reach down with the left arm. Oh, there goes the feet. Pull with the right arm, reach up towards the top of the handle. Reaching back, fully extend, pull and reach up. So this brings a lot of rotation, not just into the shoulder, but also into the waist. See if you can really crank into your waist. From here, twist through your body, pull. We don't want to have the hips dropping and lifting and wriggling through the body, but maintain some tension through your torso and through the TRX the whole time. How are we doing? We've got 2 to go. And 1 last time. Awesome. All right, oblique stretch next. So similar setup to our side lunge. Right hand on the handle. Right foot in front of the left, like we're on a tightrope. And the left hand just sits on top of the right. 60 seconds starting now. Shoulders down, elbows wide. The hips travel. The head and hands stay in towards the centre of the room. So keep those feet one in front of the other. Drop the hips out to the side, big banana shape from your head right through to your feet. And then re-engage through the side of the waist to come back up. If you ever feel your arms start to extend, this means you're using your arms a lot more than your waist. So try to keep your hands on your head. Literally, my thumbs are on my head and my elbows out nice and wide. Always have to double check the time on this one because it's not one you want to be doing for too much longer. Last 10 seconds. And 3, 2, and 1. Brilliant. Coming down for our side plank thread the needle next. So with or without your mat, option 1, knee on the floor, hand under your shoulder. Option 2, feet staggered one in front of the other. Option 3, with your foot on top. So get yourself set up and ready. 45 seconds starts now. Breathe in here. Exhale, thread your arm through, hips up high. Inhale back to center, press into your bottom hand, reach up. Exhale, send the hips high, reach underneath. So if you're working with knee on the floor, we still want that lift of the hips as we reach underneath to create some feeling of contraction through the side of the waist, rotation through the shoulder and through the spine. If you're up on your feet, remember both heels on the floor. Use your breath, use that exhale to find power. Last one now. And we are done with our right side. Love them or hate them. Next up, we're doing pistol squats. So I'm going to unhook my handles so they're separate. And the key with a good pistol squat is ideally not using your arms too much. That's maybe a bit of a pipe dream, but hey, that's where we're working towards. So try to hook just 2 or 3 fingers over the top of the handle rather than gripping on. The less you grip, the less likely you are to use your arms. So we stand nice and straight with the hands just in front of the body. So they're not down here, but they're up pretty high. And we're not leaning back, we're just standing up straight. I'll show you a few variations and then we'll start the timer. So full version, legs straight out in front of you, we come straight down and straight up. Leg lower is a little bit easier. Easier again, leg a bit lower, and as you come down, we slide that foot out along the floor. Easier again, keep your left foot in front of you, but barely any weight into it. So the weight still stays in the right leg, but we've got that little bit of reassurance and a little bit of help from the left leg. So choose which variation you're going to go for. 1 minute going on the clock. Now. All the way down, light touch on the handles, all the way up. Try to keep yourself tracking the same position, the same movement, so there's no side to side, straight down, straight up. A couple of things not to do. We're not hanging back and swinging backwards. Try to pitch your weight forward slightly. Press into your foot to rise up. That leg dropping down. It does get tough on the quads of this lifted leg. I'm going to finish mine with a slightly different camera angle. So a couple of little pointers for your last few. If you find that your bent leg is dropping into the middle of your body, take your lifted leg across. That will help to bring your working leg back into position. So leg comes across, then we lift up. And we've got a couple more to go. Light touch through the hands. Last one now. Bring that leg across if you need to. Awesome. Our next move is a single leg hip hinge. Very similar to the first movement we did today, but on one leg, hence the single leg. The right foot stays down, the same leg you were just squatting on, left foot comes out behind you. Shoulders down, arms out straight. Now try and keep your torso nice and straight. Draw it in through the belly button, and then press the handles away from us. Lift the back leg up, drop your chest, push into your right heel to come up. So folding forward, then my standing foot, push into the foot, push into the heel, rise all the way up. So we're making like a seesaw movement at the hip. The torso drops down, the leg lifts up behind us. Keeping a pretty straight line from the head all the way through to the toes on the back foot. Maintain some space here between the shoulders and the earlobes. And the lower you can get your chest down, the more feeling of stretch you'll find through the back of the leg. Likewise, if you lift that left leg up behind you a little higher, that will give you more feeling of stretch through the back of the standing leg. We're going 2 more. And last one. Next, we're going to combine that exact movement with our pistol squat. Hands quite close to the body. My feet haven't moved. Left leg out in front, squat down. Push through your heel, come up, hinge forward. Swinging through. And hinge. So keeping your balance on that right leg. Try not to hang into the handles when you go for your pistol squat. And maintain that length through the spine and a nice long leg with the leg that's going back behind you. 2 to go. And one last time. Awesome, give that leg a little shake out. Still working the right leg though. We lengthen the straps all the way down so well. All the way down on my TRX. Depending on your setup, you want to get your foot loops to about mid-shin. So about halfway up your shin is where you want your foot loops, your stirrups to be. Continuing our work on our right leg, left foot goes into both of your foot loops. Single leg squat with an overhead reach. So left leg is out to the side, right foot pointing forwards. So we want this foot to be in our parallel position, pointing straight ahead. Square your hips to face front, and we need to wriggle the standing leg away from the TRX anchor point so that the strap starts at a slight angle. The foot that's suspended, try to have your shoelaces still pointing forward so we're not opening out too much through the hip, and that will help to keep the hips and the pelvis facing forward. Alright, weight stays in this right leg. 1 minute, 30 seconds, minute and a half going on the clock. Sit down into your squat, reach your arms overhead. So there's no weight really in this left leg, or barely any weight. That swinging of the TRX happens because as I come down, that left leg's got to go somewhere, and it naturally is going to travel out to the side slightly. However, I'm not pushing the TRX. My weight is firmly in the right side of my body. Try not to let yourself shift at the bottom. Press the side of your thigh out to the side, like you're sliding down a wall. And reach your arms up as high as you can. The higher you reach your arms, the harder it gets to get low into your squat, but it stops us from pitching forward. Extend through the spine, lift through the chest. So we're getting some core here as well as getting into our legs. Core and upper back. Nearly everything in TRX is a full body movement when you break it down. Nothing really works in isolation. Keep pressing firmly into that right foot, breathe through it. And we've got 10 seconds to go. Last one now. If you want to add a little burnout, we can stay at the bottom and add a few little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, next movement we're going to go for is a lunge, the transition. We keep the left foot suspended, turn your foot so your shoelaces are now pressing downwards, and then pivot your standing foot around, in theory, and that's you ready to lunge. Our lunge movement looks like this. As we come to the bottom of the lunge, pull back into the crease of the right hip. Drive into the right heel to come up. So barely any effort in the left leg. You'll hopefully get a bit of a stretch out into the hip flexors. should be in that right leg. At the very bottom of each lunge, square the hips, right hip back, left hip forward slightly. Drive through the heel to come up. Try and look straight ahead. As soon as you turn your head or look to the floor, that can throw you off balance. And find that set-up position so that you're not getting too much help from the swing of the TRX. If we start further back, the arc of the straps will help to bring the leg forward, because you'll be coming on a sort of downward swing as you come up. So a little bit harder the further forward you stand. And you can often feel what feels right. If you're getting pulled too far back or too far forward, just adjust that front foot. You may have noticed I've completely changed what I'm doing with my arms. It doesn't really matter. Now we're all kind of off kilter. Let the arms maybe go through these sort of running arms like I'm doing, or whatever feels good to keep your balance. Almost there now. This is where it gets tough. These last few repetitions when your leg's tired, keep pushing through. Focus on that alignment. Last two. And last one, nice and slow. If you're feeling like a bit of torture and a bit of extra burnout, come down into that lunge again and hold. Then little pulses up and up and up. Just pushing into this front foot. 4, 3, 2, and coming all the way out of that. Whoa, that is a glute burner. As I desperately just hopped myself out after that little burnout, I'm now back in position again, because we're transitioning down to a mountain climber. So big lunge, bring your hands to the floor and step your foot back. Now at this point you might need to walk back slightly so that your TRX is vertical and you feel nice and supported in this plank. Shoulders away from the ears, press into your hands. Then we bring left knee to the chest, step it back. Press into the left foot, right knee to the chest, step it back. All right, 45 seconds on the clock. Keep the shoulders nice and stable. Lift up and in through the belly button. If you want a harder variation, keep that right foot off the floor the whole time. I tried that then. That was pretty hard. So if you've got the stability through your core and your shoulders, right foot stays off the floor. Final 10 seconds now. Don't let the head drop down. Press the back of your head towards the ceiling. 4, 3, 2, last second. Whew. And we're out of there. Awesome. Time to do all of that on the other leg. Don't forget to stay hydrated. So moving on to our second side, shortening the straps all the way up again, ready for pistol squats. So we've got pistol squats, hip hinge, then we combine the two movements. Left foot down. Options, remember, easier option, right foot stays on the floor. Slightly harder, we allow that right leg to slide away. Harder again with the foot up. Harder again with the leg up really high. Now my left leg's been a bit iffy recently, so we'll see how these go. They're going to be hard. All right, 1 minute on the clock, starting now. Try not to pull with your arms too much. Keep your core really engaged so you feel yourself lifting up and out of your waist. Keep that right leg up as high as you can. Remember, there are all those options for you to go for. Nice light touch on the handles. Always getting tough already. I can feel myself going a little wonky. Just changing my foot position slightly. And remember, there's that option to move your lifted leg, to bring your moving leg, your working leg, into alignment, knee and hip in line with each other. Try not to lean back into the straps. At the bottom of the squat, pitch your weight forward, press into your foot to come up. One more to go now, last one. Awesome. All right, into the hip hinge. Left foot stays on the floor, right foot back behind, arms out in front. Shoulders are down, we pivot at the hip, hinge forward. Back leg comes up, chest drops down. Press into your foot as you come up. Your hinge point, your pivot point is your hip. Your back and your legs stay nice and straight. So we're moving like a bit of a seesaw. And if you remember, the lower your chest goes down and the higher your leg lifts up, the more feeling of stretch you'll get all the way down the back of your standing leg. Zip up and lift up through the front of the belly. Oh, that sun's coming through the windows now and it's boiling shortly. This long sleeve might have to come off. Last few seconds, one more. Awesome. All right, giving that little stroke out. Pistol squats into our hip hinge, combining those two movements. All right, so getting ready, right leg out in front, pistol squat down, push through the foot, hinge forward, back leg comes up. Swing that leg through, flex the foot, push through your heel on that lifted leg, then we swing it back, hinge forward. Pressing firmly into that left foot the whole time. Try to get into a nice rhythm so we're smooth on the swinging of the arms. Nice and smooth as you drop down and up from your pistol squat. Drop the shoulders away from the ears on both of these movements. Create some space around the neck and the top of the shoulders. And let's go two more. And last one. All right, so next up we're going into our long strap version of thingies. What am I talking about? So next up we're going to lengthen the straps down to mid-shin and it's time for a single leg squat and then a lunge and then a mountain climber. Alright, we're still working that left leg. So right foot going up into the foot stirrups, the foot loops. So when that right foot is up, try to get the straps. You can see it's not that easy always. Straps somewhere near the arch of your foot, then wriggle that left foot away. So we start with the TRX at a bit of an angle. We want our body to be lined up with the strap as much as possible, so it's not going to swing that leg forward and back. So this left foot pointing straight ahead. Square the hips to face front, top of the foot pointing forwards. All right, let's get ready. Minute and a half to go. Sit back, reach up. Press into that left foot to come up. We drop back. Push through the foot to rise. Keep your body sliding down that imaginary wall so there's no sideways movement. Hips stay facing straight ahead. We don't want to let the body rotate. Reach your arms up nice and high. The chest stays lifted. The spine is extending. So all of these movements are timed. If you're not doing the same many reps as me, or you're doing less, or you're doing more, don't worry, just keep going through the whole of the time. Taking those little resets as and when you need to. Doing great here. Stay with it now. Sitting back nice and low. Hips pushed back behind you like you're trying to hover over a little toilet. And we've got 10 seconds left. Keep it going. The last few are always the toughest ones. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. If you want that little burnout, we come down low and it's 10 little pulses. 9, 8, 7, stay low, make it small. 5, 4, 3, arms are high, 2, and 1. We come up from there. If you need the balance stick, now's a good time to grab it. And we transition ready to lunge. So turn the foot, so the shoelaces are pointing down. If you need to take your foot out to reset, then please do. Whoa, wobble. If you've chosen to reset, grab your little balance stick now. We take the right foot up into the handle, into the foot loops even. So right foot into the loops, shoelaces down, and then hop or shuffle your leg forward. Steady yourself up, square your hips to face front. So right hand can be resting on that stick, hips are facing forward, and we lunge back. We push into that front foot to come all the way up. Try to keep this knee directly over the ankle so your shin is vertical. Take your time, and at the bottom of every movement, we focus on keeping the hips square. So putting back into the left hip, pressing through the heel, and we want the glutes to fire to do the work. If your balance pole is a little longer, hold on to the shaft of it, but a nice light grip. And good practice actually is to just loosen the grip entirely, let the hands slide down and up, so that you know you're not relying on that pole for balance, but it's there to grab onto if you feel you need it. Another option would be to just hold that pole out in front of you as you practice on getting your balance on one leg. I'm feeling very wobbly on my left leg today, so I'm going to take that back down to the floor to finish these with a bit more confidence. So don't need to think about that pole as being a cheat. Also, don't get used to relying on it. Tough bit now, the final push. Always the hardest bit. When your legs are tired, when your energy is depleted, that's when you really have to think about digging deep to finish your last few repetitions with as much control and good alignment as you can. The more you make all your movements the same, the better. This is our last one. Woo. Option to finish with those knee little pulses. So coming down low, then pushing into your front foot, rising up, and up, and up, and up. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We transition down to the floor for our mountain climbers. Wriggling back so that you're underneath the TRX. And then let me just drop down so I can reset my timer. 45 seconds. Right leg in, left leg in. If you feel you can keep that left foot off the floor the whole time. Don't let the head drop. Look down at the floor about a foot or so in front of your fingers. Certainly regretting keeping my long sleeve top on. Hips and shoulders stay nice and level. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. And we're out of there. Awesome work. That's our left side finished. It had to happen. The long sleeves come off. Right, next lot of movements we're doing are on the floor. So I've got my mat down. So it's a bit more comfy on my back. And then we're going into hamstring curls and bridges next. The setup for this is bring your heels into the foot loops. So the backs of the heels rest down. The middle of the ball of your foot will end up on the handles there. Just make sure your straps are nice and level. You can change that as you go. And then I'm going to lie down on my back. So starting with my feet pretty much underneath the TRX. And at this stage it's quite nice to have a little swing, a little sway of the legs. Oh, so we'll just loosen up around your lower back. Alright, then we settle back into centre. Like I said, level out the straps, press down into your heels. Arms by your sides. I'm just going to lift this arm up, but keep yours down. We keep the spine in a fairly neutral position. So I'm not trying to force my lower back into the floor, but nor do I want it to really overarch. So ribs down, belly button in, press into the heels, really dig down into your feet, then bend the knees, bring them in towards the chest. So here I'm not allowing my back to drop into the floor. There's still a space there underneath my back, so it's not dropping. Knees coming in, but my spine stays in that same position. Likewise, the chin stays tucked towards the top of the neck slightly. Try not to push your chin up and strain your neck. And we build our own resistance here. This is working into our hamstrings mostly. The more you push into your heels, the harder this becomes. So options now, you can either continue to do this, or we work into a bridge. So bend your knees, press into the heels, lift your hips off the floor. Press into the backs of your arms and your shoulders. Lower yourself back down. Extend your legs. Bend the knees. Push into the heels. Lift the hips. Hips come down. Extend the legs. We lift up with a fairly straight back. So the movement is a hinging of the hips rather than a rolling through the spine. Press into the heels. Send the hips up high. So we're still firing lots into the hamstrings. Next option is to keep the hips up, bend the knees, lift the hips, extend the legs. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Bend the knees, lift the hips, extend the legs. Bend the knees, drop the hips. We've got 30 seconds. Continue with whichever variation you're working on. We can also just keep the hips up. Wow, that's absolute killer for the hammies. Oh, so whichever version you're working on. Keep it going for another 10 seconds. Oh, I'm just changing up what I'm doing now. Right, and that's time. Straight legs, have a little swing side to side. Keep your feet hooked up. If you're taking your feet out, get them back up in there again. Reach your arms behind your head. Next movement. We're going for a curl up with a twist here. Reach your arms back. As we lift the head and shoulders, we press the back into the floor because I'm pulling down now through my abdominal muscles. So curl up, bend your knees, bring your hands to the outside of your thighs. Back to center, other way. Inhale and exhale. So as we reach back, the spine is fairly neutral, hate that phrase, but we've got that slight lift under the lower back. As we come up, the lower back is pressing into the floor. Both arms to the outside of your thigh. Head and shoulders off the floor. The bigger you make that twist, the harder it becomes. Tuck the chin, keep the neck nice and strong. Awesome. All right, we're going to keep the feet lifted up. Bend your knees, bring them in towards your body. 90 degrees at the knees. So they're not pulled right in towards the chest. Thighs are directly above the hips. This is to stop ourselves from forcing our lower back into the floor and therefore kind of switching off through the abdominal muscles. So knees just over the hips to keep the pelvis still. We engage through the lower belly. Reach the arms back. Take a breath in. Exhale, come up. Shoulder blades off the floor. Reach the arms forward. Then we start to pulse forward. Lift, lift. So the knees stay in that same position. We're pressing the back down. Keep the chin tucked. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release the legs. Have a little swing side to side again. And then we transition to take our feet out of the TRX and sit up from there. Next up, 3 movements into a combination. We've got a side plank, a full plank with a twist, and then a third side plank. So I'm going to link those all together. And then I'll also give you some options. So first option, in fact, is side plank on the floor rather than using the TRX. And that can be feet one in front of the other, one on top of the other, or knee to the floor, as we did earlier on. So using the TRX, we're going to bring the feet up into the foot loops, then turn so that both of your feet are pointing in the same direction. I'm taking my top leg behind, toes up against the heels. Elbow on the floor. Harder on your hand if you do want to do it on your hand. Elbow under the shoulder. Roll the top of the arm bone away from the chest. Lift up and out of the top of the shoulder. Lift through the side of the ribs. I'm getting my timer ready. 45 seconds starting in 3, 2, and 1. Top hand to the floor to lift the hips. Press your heel into the toes and toes into the heels. When you feel you're ready, lift the arm up high. Now keep drawing in through the belly and lift out of the side of the waist. The more stability you can find there through the hips and the belly, the less likely you are to let the TRX swing and sway. If you want to make it a little harder, separate the feet, so toes are no longer pressing against the heels, but the feet are separate. Lift the hips high, keep this top arm reaching up. We've got 10 seconds. Breathe through it. Keep looking straight ahead, don't be tempted to drop your head down. Holding 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. We come down from there. So now coming over, both feet still suspended, coming over onto your hands. So this is our full plank with a twist. We're literally twisting the body to bring knees to elbow, alternating sides. So this can also be done on the floor. I'll show you the floor variation in just a second. So hands under the shoulders. Use all of your fingers and your thumbs. Shift your weight forward so the shoulders are over the wrists. Make sure you're not locking your arm. Slight bend in the elbow. Lift the feet. Option 1 is to hold your plank and just practice your suspended plank. Or we go breathe in, then exhale. Timer. Breathe in, then exhale. Both knees to one elbow. Back to centre. Both knees to the other elbow. Back to centre. If you're here, keep it going. If you're not using your TRX, one knee at a time to the outside of your elbow. Keep the shoulders stacked over the hands. Keep going for another 10 seconds. Press into the hands, lift out of the shoulders, strong around the shoulders now. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So from there, if you've dropped out of your TRX, set yourself back up for your side plank. If you're still in your TRX, get ready to turn to the other side. I'm actually going to do the same side for the sake of your camera angles. So just a reminder, feet are either in the TRX or they're on the floor. We're down on the elbow, under the shoulder, Lift out of the ribs, 45 seconds on the clock. Top hand high, lift the waist, lift through the underarm, rib cage away from the arm. Squeeze into here. We've got a big set of muscles that run around the side of the rib cage that are supporting our shoulder. Don't let your shoulder collapse. Push into the floor, lift out of the underarm. Reach your top arm up really high. That was a bit overzealous. Reach that top arm up really high. Push into your arm on the floor. Hold and breathe. Last 10. Stay with me, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down from there. Awesome work. Take your feet out of the foot loops, and we're going straight into a roll up with the TRX as an assist. So again, we start off on our backs for this one, and we want to be lying down in a position where we're flat on the floor with the arms straight. So if you're too far back, you'll find your head's off the floor. If you're too far forward, your elbows will be bent. So we're lying flat down on our backs. All right, time is starting. Chin towards the chest, pull your hands back, rolling up through the spine, circle your arms around. Turn your palms down, set the shoulders down, scoop through the belly, roll through the spine all the way onto the floor. Head comes down, then lift the chin, send the arms back behind you, arms stay straight. We circle round from the shoulders, flip the palms down, roll back. Head comes down and then back up. So just that split second of bringing the back of the head to the floor. Try to articulate through the joints of the spine. So it's a rolling movement. Especially on the way up, it's really tempting just to lift. Try to bring that chin down, the arms come back, we peel the spine off the floor. So what not to do is lean back and then hinge up. Try to roll. Make the spine nice and mobile and snake-like. One more time now. Finishing sitting up. Rolling the spine off the floor. And then I'm just going to scoot back slightly. Next movement is with your arms up overhead in a big letter Y position. So take both of your handles, reach your arms up, set your shoulders down. Just going to start my timer now. Set your shoulders, pull into the handles. Now scoop down through your belly slightly. Keep the chest high, we're not leaning back, but draw the navel in, tuck the tailbone under. Then turn your feet out, point your toes. Take a breath in here and we exhale. Lift one leg up, inhale back down. Keep pulling on the handles the whole time. We're not leaning back and hanging into the handles, but actively working into the shoulders and the upper back. Bring your rib cage down and in. Belly button to spine. And those arms stay lifted up above your head. Shoulders are away from the ears, chest up. And we'll do just one more on each leg. That's about 45 seconds. Alright, we're going to come back up to our feet now for our final section. For our final segment of the workout, we're going to shorten the straps up to the top again. And we've got 4 more movements to go. First of all, a Y fly. We start with the arms nice and straight, shoulders are rolled back and down. So we drop down through the shoulders, close the ribs in, pull through the belly, tuck the tailbone. Then we go up. Arms nice and straight, extending the arms up and out like a big letter Y, think YMCA. Lifting up and lowering back down. Try to keep your body in a straight line from your head through to your feet. It's harder if you let yourself pivot back on your heels. It's harder if you step forward. However, just be mindful that you're not not so far forward that you have to end up bending your arms. If you get to that stage where you're bending to straighten, your feet are too far forward. Step it back, find that point where you've got a nice smooth movement at the shoulders, tension on the TRX the whole time. Like so many of these standing movements that we do, we don't want the hips dropping, nor do we want this kind of swaying motion through the upper body. So nice straight lines, pull, squeeze through the upper back, arms are straight, tension on the torso, tension on the TRX. We're almost there, one more to go now. We're going straight from here into a mid-row. Palms still facing down, we pull, hands towards the outside of the shoulders. So we want minimal rest between all of our exercises. So if you do need to skip through parts of this video to get nice quick transitions, then please do. With this move, we've got elbows coming back and in towards each other, shoulders staying down, tension through the torso, and again, if your feet come further forward, this becomes harder. If you want it harder again, we can come all the way down, knees bend and pull more up. Easier, you step back a little further, so you're more upright. Just be mindful not to let the straps go loose. And it's our last 5 seconds. I'm going to sneak in one more rep. Awesome. So now the reverse of those two movements, a roll out and a chest press. Roll out, arms out straight, shoulders down, zip up and in through the core, so that feeling of ribs in, tailbone tucked, bum squeezed, and then smooth movement through the shoulder. The rolling is at the shoulder joint. Press into your hands, lift through the belly to come up. It's a straight line at the hips, so we're not hinging, and we're certainly not dropping the hips forward at this stage. Nice straight line from top of the head right through to your toes. Easier if you step forward. Harder if you step back. The more horizontal you become, the harder the movement is. Right at the very bottom, you should feel a big stretch through the abs. And then the abs need to really lift and switch on to bring you back up. So a tough one for the core and for the shoulders. Great for getting extension into your spine. How are we doing? One last time. Straight into a chest press. Wrists nice and straight. Don't let the wrist buckle. Like a press up, bend the elbows, chest comes down. Push the hands away from you to come up. Bend the elbows, chest comes down. Press into the hands to rise up. Harder with your feet further back. And just a couple of inches does make a big difference with that foot position. Easier if you come forward more. Easier again if we have one foot in front. Same goes for that roll out. And if you want to make it harder, we can try one foot on the floor, less stable, or even lifting that back leg up altogether. And it gives you a little bit of a swing through your movement. So keep those wrists locked out nice and strong, so we're not buckling at the wrists. Elbows out wide and high. All right, one final one. Now our very last movement, the combination of the roll out and the press. So we've got one arm going straight up and the other elbow coming back. Then we push and press to return to center. So one final move. Lock out through the core and we bend one elbow, the other arm stays straight. Body nice and level. Press, push, change sides. Focus on keeping your body nice and straight from top to toe, and minimal rocking through the hips. So it can be quite tempting to drop here. Keep this hip lifted, press into your hand to come up. Remember, harder the further feet back. Further back your feet are, even. So it's harder with your feet further back, easier with your feet further forward. 10 more seconds to go. 5, and 3, 2, 1, and time on that one. Wicked. So that's the hard work over. We're going to finish off now just with 3 different little standing stretches. The first one, pretty much the same as how we started class. So drop the shoulders, press the hands out in front of you, and fold. Let your chest drop down. Let your head drop down. Then bend both knees and extend both legs, stretching out down the back body. Bend both knees, keep pressing into the handles, extend both legs. 2 more the same. Then slight bend of the knees, roll through the spine to come up. Another one's a similar setup, folding forward. This time, press into your hands, and we take one hand up and back, straightening one leg. Keep pressing into this top hand. Back to center, change sides. This is different from the golf swing that we did at the start of class. So we stay in this folded over position as we allow the spine and the shoulders to rotate. I'll just do a couple more. You can do as many of these as you feel you want to. And my favourite, I think, I like to call this one the ski jump. We start with the hands back behind us, shoulders down, press into the hands, step a fair way back. Then we're going to fold over, let the neck relax, the head just drops down. Then we start to swoop forward, pull on the straps, lift your chest, your shoulders come back, your chest comes up. We can have heels up or down. Then send the hips back, drop the chest. So swooping, swinging forward, lift the chest up, heels down to stretch out through the calves, heels up a little if you want to take more feeling of stretch and load into the shoulders. Then we go heels down, hips back, chest down. Again, swinging forward, lengthen through the whole of your body. And we'll do one more. Then, as we're hanging down, just let go of your TRX, let your head drop. Give your neck and shoulders a little wriggle out, maybe roll the shoulders, a little twist, and then when you're ready, we roll all the way up and finish with a big stretch overhead. Drop your arms down by your sides. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed that. Do message me if you have any questions. Have fun with it, and I will see you soon.